guys, welcome out to the shop today. Hope you guys have been having a fantastic week. And today I wanted to go over something that, we've been doing a lot of small engine work. And recently I came into a chance to buy a lot of weed eaters. And I wanted to go over with you guys about how you guys can find something like this. And not all the weed eaters are going to be good. I know that. But I wanted to show you guys how I go through the weed eaters to get the quickest results of being able to find out which ones run, which ones are good, and then the easiest ones to go through and fix so you guys can get those back out on the market and try to resell those. So here is some of the weed eater parts that I've got, and here are some of the weed eaters. And then we also have this random weed eater right here, or trimmer. And so what I wanted to go ahead and do is I bought 17 of these, and it was extremely cheap. It came out to being about $2 a piece per weed eater. And obviously by having extra pieces over here, you know that these are not all whole. We have this one dead in the yard right here. And as you can see, they're all fairly the same. And if you cannot tell, there's not really a difference between the Troy-Bilt right there and then this Craftsman right here. They're, almost identical. They're pretty much the same. Probably made by the same people in the same plant, and just a little bit different molded pieces. So what I did to begin this was obviously separate the weed eater. So you have the red Craftsman right here, and then we have the gray Craftsman's right here. So one of the things that you first have to do when you're working with the small engines and buying and selling these things, you have to be able to identify if something has compression, decent compression, or no compression at all. So that is, after separating the weed eaters into the different models, that is where I went to next, and figuring out what felt like it had compression and what did not feel like it had compression. And if they didn't feel like they had compression, I went ahead and put it into my bad pile, which is all the ones that I have already shown you. And if they felt like they had compression, then I went ahead and took them inside. So to tell if they do have compression or not, you would pretty much grab the handle and pull it up. You see how easy this is, just falling down and not really staying up? If you hold that in your hand, it would just be very easy to pull. So I have almost no compression in this one. As you can see, that one still has a spark plug in it. This one does not have a spark plug in it, and it actually, well, I think this one's actually locked up. Is this one? Yeah, that's the one that's locked up. So now I put one right here, and this one doesn't have a spark plug in it, so it won't have any compression either. And you can see that it's just, you don't have any resistance whatsoever. And obviously with something in there though, you're gonna have a little bit, but you can see that there's nothing really bogging that down. Let's go check out a trimmer that actually has compression. So I brought one over that I know will actually fire off, and as you can see, this one is harder to get it to drop. It still will drop just due to the weight of the trimmer head, but it's not. See, I can pick it up higher than I can pick this one up. That one's not lifting at all, and it just drops. So this one went right away into the bad pile, and this one I brought inside. So I went ahead and brought the one weed eater that I was thinking had compression inside, and the next step to this would be to do a quick check to even see if the engine will fire over. If the engine will not fire over, there would be no point in continuing with this fixing of this weed eater. So the easiest way to check and see if it will fire over is, yes, you could fill up the fuel tank right here, but then you would have to make it all the way through the carburetor, and if the carburetor was dirty and wasn't ready to be even working, then your efforts of putting all that fuel in there would be pointless. So you go ahead and take out the spark plug. I'm going to try to do all this one-handed. And so now we have the piston that is in there right there. You guys can see that moving up and down. Alright, so now what I'll need to do is go ahead and see if this will fire. One thing that you could also do is double check to make sure you had spark on your spark plug, and an easy way to do that would be by taking an extension like this, just laying it on the motor, putting the spark plug in there, then you could turn it over onto the extension, and then you could actually just so as you guys can see, I do have spark, so that's an easy check that you guys can do beforehand. And now we'll go ahead and see if we have any compression on this. Now that we've identified that the spark plug has spark, we can go ahead and check to see if the engine will fire over. And I have this little mixed thing of fuel and oil, and what I do is just pour a little bit into the spark plug hole. Take the spark plug and I will put that back in, tighten it down, put the spark plug cable back on, and now we will go ahead and try to turn or pull the cord so that we can see if the engine will actually fire. So that's all we are looking for right now at this point. And what we can do now that we know that the engine is good, we can go over, check the rest of the weed eater if you wanted to, and check things such as the head of the weed eater. It's missing completely. But this weed eater was $2. So head for this online is only like $15. I've already checked because I have seen that there's been a few missing, and you can get one of those nice bump styles and order one. You got $17 into it. These things can resell for about $40 to $50 a piece around my parts. But that is what I wanted to go over with you guys today. Just a simple, you guys can go on Facebook all the time and find people that are selling bulk mowers, weed eaters, chainsaws, things like that. And so when you go to check those out, always give the engines a couple tugs and see what you think. If you think that it's got compression, it may be worth taking. If not, leave it there, pass, and go on to the next thing. And in my luck, I've been working on this weed eater right here. It had absolutely no fuel lines in it, and I couldn't figure out the routing of the fuel lines. I haven't looked online. I was just trying to do it blind. And then this one was in that lot right here that I got. So I was working on this Ryobi, and then this one is in the shop now. so I can actually look at the fuel lines that are on this one and compare them to how Ron I have them on there. So I know this is a shorter video for what I've been doing here lately, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this one, learned something. You guys can make an easy few dollars on small engine repairs, especially if this is just a hobby for me. So anything I get is really a profit, and I always try to put that money back into buying other items and just having a fun time with it, learning, getting to experience different things, different weed eaters. Like I said, I've never messed with this style weed eater before. I didn't know how the fuel lines run. Most of them are a carburetor where the bubble is actually on the carburetor, and this Ryobi style has a separate piece primer, so it was a little bit different for me to figure out, but we're going to get that figured out, and that's going to be another video here in the future. Also, I've been working on the Cub Cadet, and if you guys have watched this past week's video, you guys will know that I purchased a zero-turn mower for $400, and it was a real, I mean, I didn't want to pass it up. You can never find those anywhere that close. They could be broken down and still, I think I found one that actually had been lit on fire by accident, and it sold for $300. So this was $400. It was running, and I figured out what was wrong and why it kept shutting off. So you guys will have to wait for that video, because I actually have parts in the mail right now, and I'm getting these weed eaters fixed. But today's focus was how to recognize and organize your small engines when you buy them in bulk, so you can get through them the quickest and get them back out on the market so you guys can make a few dollars. So I hope this helped. I hope I'm not rambling too much. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, hit that thumbs up button. If you guys have any questions, comments about any of this, go ahead and leave them down in the section below. If you guys are new, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. I post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.